world is changing. The demographics of our society are changing. Science is exploding in terms of knowledge at such a very fast pace. So I think that recognizing all the different determinants of health, from the genes to the social determinants of health, behavioral aspects of health, I think recognizing all those things was the impetus to changing the curriculum.
It was called Genes to Society because we recognized that the individual variability had really two large sources. One was the genetic makeup of each person, and the second was the accumulated environmental experiences of each person. So to do one without the other made no sense at all.
So it was more dull as I got closer to the spleen, and then more dull here as I got
Typically in medical school, the way we taught the students was in generalities and average patient, or what medicine often called the classic case. And then when you actually got in the trenches and started seeing one patient after another, you realize, well, this patient is sort of like the classic case, but it differs in this way, and this patient is sort of like the classic case, but differs in that way. Geneticists would always say, well, actually, there is no such thing as a classic case. Every patient is different. So we thought, with the tremendous advances in genetics and genomics, and the ability to enumerate the genetic differences between people, shouldn't we be teaching students from the beginning that everyone is different?
We sought to revolutionize that with the new curriculum here at Hopkins and meld genomics, the practice of medicine, its disease states and preventative medicine, as well as the societal factors that affect outcomes for our patients.
You really have to think about everything that's going to affect their ability to get healthy. And I think it was a great way to learn medicine, because every time you go through each of the different systems, you're not just learning about here's the anatomy, here's the physiology and the pathophysiology, but you're actually learning everything from how their diet affects their care to how certain new policies are going to affect it. So you're really thinking about the big picture.
One is appreciating those differences. The second aspect of it is learning how to use that information to improve the health of your patient, either in preventing the onset of a particular disease, or if the disease has occurred, sort of thinking about the differences in prognosis and response to treatment and so forth, so that you could individualize your instructions to and your treatment of your patients, taking advantage of their variation and avoiding pitfalls that their variation might present.